Chris Martin with Creative Domain, and today's quick tip tutorial is getting 3D tracking data from Syntheyes into Cinema 4D. So we're starting here in Syntheyes, and we're going to load our shot. So you can either go to File, Import Shot, or you can just go to Shot, Add Shot, and then navigate to the folder where you have your sequence. You can actually use a QuickTime Movie or any number of formats, but sequences tend to work better in Syntheyes. So we'll select the first. I'm going to choose NTSC and click OK. And you can see it's loading it up into cache here at the top. And we can just run through it. Okay, so that's the sequence that we're going to track. Now, in later tutorials, we'll actually talk about the best way to track as far as markers and that type of thing. But for the purposes of the tutorial today, we're just going to talk about getting the data, doing the track, getting it into Cinema 4D. So I'm going to come over here to the auto tracker. I'm going to click that, and it's going to run through and do its calculations here, and we'll hope for the best. So what it's trying to do right now is trying to look at the scene and generate a solution. And you can see there's some pretty heavy math going on here. Alright, so it's done. We'll click OK. And this is the thing right here that you want to take a look at, this error code. Anything 0.5 and less, it's HPix, which is horizontal pixels, is acceptable. Anything over that, you're going to need to look at your track, and you're going to have to look and find out what's wrong. Probably you don't have decent tracking markers and things like that. But if we run through this, you can see that most of our markers are sticking, which is what we're looking for. Get rid of that, sorry. So from here, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and save this out. So I'm going to go to File, Export, and we're going to export Lightwave. So where are we? Oh, I'm blind today. There we go, Lightwave scene. And we're going to give it a path. I'm just going to save it to my desktop. I'm going to call this parking, and we'll save that out. And I'm going to use the defaults here. Click OK. Now I'm going to jump into Cinema 4D, and we're in Cinema. And I'm going to load the Lightwave shot, so we'll just open, go to the desktop, and there's our parking Lightwave scene. We'll open that, and what it does is it brings in all those tracking points in the camera and an environment. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select the top tracker and the bottom tracker, shift select, and I'm going to do Alt-G on the keyboard to put those into a null. We'll just call those trackers. I can get rid of the environment. I'm going to load my TIFF sequence into the background, so I'm going to need a background element and create a new material, get rid of the specular, and on the color channel we will go to where our TIFF sequence is. And we'll load that up. I'm going to say no. I'm going to go into the TIFF sequence, go to the animation tab, and click calculate, and then it calculates how long your sequence is and the frame rate. I'm going to take that and I'm going to drop that on my background. And now you can see that we have our background image here. Also, I want to take the trackers and just make those a little more obvious for me. So I'm going to give them a color. and change it to a circle. Oh, you know what? Sorry. You need to right-click this and say Select Children. Now we're going to color all of these. And we'll change them all to circles. And maybe 0.5. So they're a little more visible. Okay, there we go. So now you can kind of see that we have our shot in here, and we have our camera, and we've got all of our trackers that came over from Syntheyes. So now it's as simple as just dropping a 3D element in here. Let's go to our top view. So now that we have this sphere in here, we can just go to the beginning of the timeline, and you can see as I drag through it, the sphere is stuck to the ground there. And that's basically what we were looking for. So at this point, there's any number of things that you could do. You could track anything you wanted here. But in future tutorials on Syntheyes, we'll talk about more in-depth things like tracking markers and the best way to set up the scene that you're going to track to get the best results. But that is the quick tip tutorial for today. Hope that helps.